Today we're going to walk through how to add a deal age to your deal card. It will show you on your deal cards in HubSpot by default how long it's been since there's been any activity and when your next activity is scheduled, but it's not going to break it down for you how many days that deal has been open. Now, by default, there is no property for deal age in HubSpot, and there is no property for today's date. So what we want to do first is we want to create a property for the deal that's called today's date. So we're going to do this. It's going to be on the deal. I like to put it in analytics because it's been there for a while, but you can put it wherever you want. Our field type is going to be a date picker. And we're just going to show date only because it doesn't really matter. It can be set for any date, and we are going to create this. So now that date property exists, which is great, but we're going to need to set that date. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a workflow. We're going to create it from scratch. It's going to be a deal-based workflow. And we're going to call it set today's date on open deals. We don't need to worry about closed deals because closed deals can be open for years and years and years. Well, they can be created for years, so we don't really need that. So we are going to filter and enroll our deals when want to make sure today's date is empty. Unknown. Or if today's date is less than, or sorry, more than 1 day ago. Because when we create this, it's going to set the date, but then that date that it sets isn't going to update. So this workflow is going to update that date. So we're going to hit, and we also want it to re-enroll. Yes, re-enrollment, because we want this to update every day. So this is going to be any open deal. Is it going to be an open deal? It's not going to be an open deal. We need to set that in as well. We don't need to do is close lost. We're going to add our deal property. And we're going to say is closed. This one. Yes, it's false. We need to add that for the other one too. So we're going to say is closed. False. Cool. So let's review that. So any deal that is open and does not have today's date, or any deal that is open but today's date is old, we want to enroll, and we want to re-enroll it so we can do it every day. Save. So now those are our triggers. What we're going to do next is we're going to say, hey, if this deal has today's date and is old, or it doesn't have today's date, we're going to edit the record. We're going to edit today's date. And we are going to use the date that the action completes. This is going to complete on the day. So we're going to say, hey, set that to today. And that's your little trick to update the today property. So we are going to review and publish. We're going to enroll everybody that already meets this. And we're going to turn on. So now our deals should have a today's date getting added to them. And if we go back to our deals, we can always pop in and check. So let's check this example deal. And if we look at view all properties, and we do a search for today's date, we can see that it works. November 28th, perfect. That is today's date. So now we have our critical, what is today's date? And we have our create date, which is a default HubSpot property. So now to bridge the gap between those, we are going to create another property here. We'll go back into our settings, into our deal properties, and we are going to create a property and we're going to call it deal age. You can put that in your analytics or your activity or your information, wherever you want to put it, that's fine. And this is going to be a calculated property. And the calculation's pretty cool. So this, what we want to check here, your custom equation, we're going to change that and it's going to be time between, because we want to know the duration between two time periods. The start date is going to be the create date of the deal, and our end date is going to be today's date. And then we're going to hit create. And if we go back to our deals, we can check it out. We'll check this one again because it's been there for a while. We are going to view all properties and we want to see our deal age. Oh, it didn't update. Not yet. That's okay. Maybe it just hasn't run through it. So in the meantime, while it's thinking, let's go back to our deals. We're going to go to our pipelines. And we are going to go to customize our board and card view. And what we want to add on here is we want to add our deal age. Oop. Pop it in there. And now if we go to deals, hopefully we'll see our deal age. And as we see now that it refreshed, we have our deal age right on our deal card. So the ones that have been in here for quite some time, you can see that it'll just say a year, 3 months, 14 hours, but most of yours will be much less than that. And it'll say, 5 days, 6 days, 27 days. But when it does get over a year, it'll say a year. And it's a good reminder for us to close out some of these old tasks that are filling up our demo board. So give that a try. That's adding the deal age. Of course, you can always go in and add those to your record view as well. And having that workflow to update a property for today's date can unlock all kinds of cool other tools for you in HubSpot.